Recording. Okay, and we are mic'd up. My name's Kirk Kerber, and it is, let's go live on checking connection. We are now live. My name is Kirk Kerber, and we are now getting ready in Studio 4 in New York City, Manhattan, and I'm going to be talking to three cameras tonight. We're going to be talking about the Goliath Tarot Deck and who is Goliath. And if you've never seen it, here's one card from this deck. And it's a full numbered tarot deck with, hang on, we're telling more followers to join your video. Okay. I've never done a live Instagram feed, so please, if it's horrible, go over and watch it. mnn.org, channel 3 in about 8-9 minutes. Okay, Facebook. How you doing, Facebook? Tonight we're going to be talking about the Goliath deck. And if you have any questions or comments, boy, I'm a shaman, not a tech person. Okay, I drew this card, actually. I'm going to show you guys, don't worry. I drew this card and this card today, okay? So I got the Wolf card, all right, which is the Knight of Cups, okay? Here you go. I got the Knight of Cups. Let's show our TV audience here. Where are we? Oh, we're on camera. We're on camera 2. Should we go on camera 1? If you haven't seen the show, my name is Kirk Kerber, and I do a live feed New York City, Manhattan broadcast every Monday for the last 15 years. So we've never attempted to do 3 cameras. So I'm going live on Facebook here, and I think we are, insert an emoji. We are live on Facebook, definitely. Okay, let's try that. So it's just kind of be like, there we go. So how you doing, Facebook? How you doing, Instagram? And New York City and beyond, we're going live in 7 minutes around the world. And if you want to watch all the cool, groovy visuals that you're not really catching on our green screen, you can go to mnn.org. And then go down to channel 3, Spirit Channel, and you can watch the show as it is recorded out to New York City and the entire internet with the visuals in the background. But if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you're just going to get the feed. So what are we doing here? What are we doing? I'm kind of looking like a, test. I'm kind of looking like a 70s porn producer. Which I think is, oh my God, it's kind of funny. I don't know how that happened. It just kind of did. So, in a minute, we're going to be showcasing and talking and reviewing on. I'll try to answer any questions. I'll try to switch back from Facebook to Instagram. And we also take phone calls as well. So if somebody wants to talk to me, I'll toss the phone call. Goliath Deck sent a request to be in your live video on Go Live with Goliath. So Goliath has just joined us on Instagram. It's going to be kind of like this. So if it interests you and you really want to watch and you're interested in tarot cards and you're a shaman or you're a witch person, Goliath, are you there? I can't. Hey, how's the sound here? Is it good? I'm not really going to know any of these sound levels at all. But thanks for joining, Facebook family, Facebook friends. Goliath is showing us some of his drawings and his cards. Now, you got to understand that for one artist, let me see, we're going live in New York City in 5 minutes. For one artist to actually draw all this stuff, and I'm going to give you guys lots of visuals, okay? For one artist to draw this, and not only draw this, but to also, I think it took over 4 years, almost 5 years to birth this thing. Let me just make sure we have good sound here. Okay, I think we have good volume. El Goliath, I can't hear anything you're saying if you're talking, but so 5 years to birth this thing, and this is not a deck that you could really learn actually in, a couple of months. I'm going to give you my take on it, and I'm going to give you, I did not read the professional PR thing that El Goliath put out, so I don't know how El Goliath sees the deck. I'm going to tell you, as a seasoned reader of tarot for over 25 years, personal and professional clients and paid professional clients around the world, tarot reader, and also a collector. I've been to conventions. I've been to the tarot school downtown. And I've studied the tarot cards on and off my entire life. Well, half my life, 25 years. So I can give you my take, and I can give you my, review. And first of all, we're just going to hang out just like a little more, 3 minutes longer. If anybody has like a couple of questions, I'm going to just give you some of these images and look at how beautiful these are. Like I said, my name's Kirk Kerber. I've had a TV, spiritual, metaphysical television show for the last 15 years here in New York City. And we talk about all things supernatural, spiritual, mystical, and magical. And tonight we're talking about an animal shaman magical tarot deck from a friend of mine. Oh my God! Okay, El Goliath is actually on our. What? What did you say? I've never heard your voice.
It's me.
How are you? How you?
Your voice. I can see you, but I'll just show images of the cards on my chat. I think that you might be able to see the strength card. Yeah.
We can see them.
Yay.
We're live on Facebook as well right now.
Okay.
And we're also going out live to New York City in 2 minutes. So, what do you want to say? We actually have the creator here, and I'm gonna kind of go back and forth and tell Facebook what's happening. Mr. Goliath, what do you want us to know about this deck?
Yeah, sure. I wanted to create a deck that I felt kind of dived a little bit deeper, and you had to kind of use your intuition a bit more. Like I wasn't going to spoon feed, and I didn't want to include humans in the deck. I wanted it to be animals, so you have to kind of connect with the energy of the animal and think about like what a cobra is, or what a rabbit is. And I wanted to kind of just put a lot of meat on the bone and really create a deck that people could just kind of do a little bit more work and dive a little bit deeper into their own gifts, and just kind of just asking the audience to engage more, I think.
Okay, you know what I really and truly wanted to ask you is there's a part about shadow work. Now, Goliath tells me he wanted more animals. I'm talking to the Facebook audience. Goliath tells me that he wants more animals. He wants people to dive deeper in, use their own tuition. This is an advanced deck. Beginners can have it, but he said, I'm not going to spoon feed you the wisdom, the knowledge, and the truth. And you're going to have to find it in the images, find your own truth, and find it in the animals and the animal medicine. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's it. And I thought I took out the humans because I didn't want it to be like if there was like a lady with red hair, then everyone would think, oh, my mum's got red hair, so it must be her. So I wanted people to really connect more with the animals, and that's why the deck is black and white. It is monochrome because I feel like when it's in black and white, it is more shadowy and it's more dramatic, and it kind of it more embodies the shadow without color. And I feel like it was just something that I always wanted to do. I wanted to create a deck that I could put out into the world that I could say that I was really proud of, and it embodies the shadow. So it's more about like your subconscious. It's more about diving deeper into into the unseen things behind things, and just kind of connecting to your own truth a bit more. So it is not a deck that is designed for a newbie. It is a deck that I wanted to be more for people that are a little bit more advanced. So they've kind of done a bit more work, and that's kind of the gist of what I wanted to do. But yeah.
Okay, so basically he's saying, well, the deck is perfect for me. I'm a seasoned reader. It's for witchy people that know animal medicine, that, really deal and work in, psychic medium, subconscious work, any type of like psychiatrist, psychologist, this would be great for, any kind of witchy, esoteric, shaman, or magical, mystical person. He says it's really not a beginner's deck. I can say it's very weighty, and when I got the deck, it's pretty heavy. I mean, when Goliath sent me the deck from Australia, and I just put it in my house, and I just kind of was like, all right, let's let the energy get in here, because I felt the magic coming in already. And so the deck was imbued with magic. I mean, I'm an initiated shaman. Let me just talk to my New York audience for a minute. If you just joined us in New York City or at mnn.org, channel 3, to get those visuals, excellent Goliath visuals in the background, then we are talking with the actual Goliath who created the deck, which we have right here. And we're showing images from it, and we're talking about it. And that's what's going on. We're live on Facebook, and we're live on Instagram. Okay, here's a good thing. So, Goliath, tell us, okay, it took 5 years to birth the deck.
Yep, it sure did. So it was probably about 5 years ago. I was off in the forest. I kind of go and do my thing in the bush, and I'm here in Australia, by the way.
So
I'm really connected to nature, pine trees, stuff like that. And basically, I decided that I was at a point in my life where I wanted to create something that just hadn't been done before. I was picking up decks a lot of the time, and I just felt like they were pretty, and I connected with them, but they just didn't kind of speak to me. So I wanted to create something that I would really want to work with, that really encompassed something a bit more heavier. And so I started scribbling on butcher's paper all over my wall in my bedroom, and it just kind of started to grow from there. And I wrote down words, and I thought, like, well, what do I want to say? What is it that I want to communicate? And if I have something in me, now's the time to bring it out and connect with different things, with deity or whatever. And so the first card that I started with was the Death card. For me, in a deck, it's the Death card and the Devil card. If they aren't connecting with me, then it's not my thing. But I started with the Death card, and then it kind of decided to tell me what to do. Like, I started connecting with other things, and it just kind of grew more and more, and lots of scribbles and sketches, and they kind of became the bones and the building blocks of the deck. And it was basically, I'd always wanted to do a deck, but I just feel like I hadn't given myself permission or the time to actually really do it and do the artwork and make that commitment to myself. So that's kind of where it started.
Okay, so you were ready to birth. Let me speak to the Facebook audience. Now, if anybody watching on Facebook, on the Instagram live feed over here, I have Goliath, the creator of the deck. So if anybody on Facebook wants to type some questions and ask the questions to Goliath, I will ask him directly. So if anybody has any comments about the deck, where can I get the deck? The deck, you can go to a Facebook page, I know, and you can also go to Goliath Tarot Deck on Instagram. And so what Goliath is telling me is, now, wait, Goliath, how long have we known each other? Is it about 5 years, 6 years?
Yeah, it's been a few years. I found you on YouTube, and I just, yeah, like, you resonate with your truth. You know, it's the whole thing is that a lot of the esoteric market is completely saturated with light-bearing stuff that completely ignores the totality of the reality that we live in. And that really kind of annoys me. And I was just like, can we just have a deck that addresses psychopaths? Can we just have a deck that addresses, you know, this behavior that just is not starseed behavior that's going on? And that's why I kind of decided to do it. Like, one of the cards is actually, it's called Al Masks, which was dedicated to dealing with psychopaths and sadists. And they seem to be in every workplace, in every family, in every street corner, and no one wants to talk about them or knows how to deal with them. So I wanted to kind of do a deck, and then I did the bonus cards, which were kind of more like addressing this behavior and these people that we all seem to have to deal with, but no one really wants to look at it or talk about it. So so for a while the deck was really quite dark, and it got really dark, and I had to kind of pull back a little bit because I was like, God, like, I don't think people I don't think people are going to connect with this. It's too much. But yeah, it went that way. So yeah, there's light cards, dark cards, but it was really about just kind of staying out of the light and diving into the depths a bit, you know. And this deck requires a bit of work. It doesn't, like, it's not about people just looking at a pretty picture. I want them to. You've got to do a bit of effort involved in connecting with the animal or connecting with what I'm trying to say. But
okay, you definitely, okay, from what I can't say I've worked completely. I've given one full reading with the deck to another witch friend of mine, and it was a sensational, unbelievable reading for all three people involved. It was like a circle, and just knowledge and medicine came through, and magic, and it was really great. But, I can't say, like, when I say I've worked with the deck, it means I've worked with the deck 3 to 5 years. Do you know what I mean? Like, my daily deck is the Albano Rider-Waite Coleman Smith deck. It's not a well-known deck. It's all white card backs, and it's got a hyper colorization. So that's my daily deck, and then I also use just the Rider-Waite Giant Tarot. The cards are about 3 times the size. But to work with the deck as a professional, like, I don't think I would give a professional reading with this deck unless I'd worked with it for 3 to 5 years, because you just don't know. Every.
You need time to. I've been getting that a lot from people. Like, this is a deck they're going to put on heavy rotation, but they have to kind of give themselves that time to really, bond with the artwork and connect with it, because a lot of people, like, they look at it and they're like, oh, I don't know how, and it's like, it's pushing you to kind of push a little bit further into, dive down the well and have a look a little bit deeper, particularly with some of the tens and the majors, because I wanted to look at it from a shadow angle, which is what the agenda was. But yeah, a lot of people have got the deck and they need to just give themselves a bit of time to let it, just sink in and connect with it. So it's something that I think is a gradual, it'll be like a gradual work in progress, bonding with it. I've given a few readings with it. It's different for me because I did it. Like, it's quite surreal, shuffling a deck that you created. But some of the cards are quite jarring. Some of them are designed to be confronting. And I've had some interesting feedback with the Hierophant and the Devil. With the Devil, I didn't want to play around too much. It was like this goat, obviously the white goat as a scapegoat. It's also like, in a dark forest, it's just been feeding off another life force, which is sustaining its own with all the blood dripping down its face. And it's kind of like the snake is kind of telling the goat what to do. It's like the goat is under control of the snake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I've had some people from the Church of Satan. I've had different people that have come at me and kind of gone, oh my God, like this is really quite violent. And that's what I wanted. I want a jarring reaction for some of them. And then there's more gentle cards, like, the Hermit. It's more soft than, it's about being...
Okay, what you're saying... What you're saying is, okay, this deck is a heavyweight deck, and what he's saying is he's not shying away from the dark aspects of our time here. We as, I identify as initiated shaman after 5 near-death experiences. I was probably a very early indigo child, born in the 60s. I was probably the first wave of indigos. I'm a full-scale, full-tilt empath. And, in this lifetime, point blank, being a triple Gemini with a Pisces rising, I got a devil and an angel on my shoulder. But I got to tell you, at some point, I made a choice. I choose to do good in this lifetime for no other reason other than I just chose that, and I'm committed to it. So I don't think it's so much being a good person or being a bad person, but what El Goliath is saying is we do have psychopaths in the workplace. We do have psychotic people. I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with serial killer TV shows, and I read about H.H. Holmes, who was America's first serial killer, and also Jack the Ripper. I'm fascinated by it. But so what El Goliath is saying about this deck, what he's saying about this deck is he's not shying away and just making it a deck that is just like all light and angels and unicorns. He's trying to encompass all of these darker aspects of our psyches and kind of confronting the person that works with the deck to get into a state of wholeness and make peace, and also recognize the darkness in other people. Is that about right? Is that like, am I getting close?
Yeah, and kind of looking at it from a point of like holding space for them as well, because, a lot of these people, they need hugs, they need love, they need light. That's why they can't create light of their own, so they're trying to hurt or steal others' work or, deconstruct other people so that they can gain social capital.
Now, let's just talk about you briefly, your own personal journey. Do you want to, I can't tell you, especially being a Pisces rising and other Pisces I've known, and this is going to be kind of a stereotype, but I think it's true. The other Pisces I've known, there is just no end or limitation to their darkness. I mean, we are the oldest souls. The Pisces supposedly is the oldest souls. But if you've got a prominent Pisces ruling somewhere, and especially for me, Pisces rising, there is some major dark shit going on there.
Yeah.
And
there sure is.
It's like it just doesn't end. You know what I mean?
Because Pisces is like on its way back to source. I mean, they're the last. Like, they're kind of heading back. They've got one foot in one world and one foot in the other. And
right.
So they're
So, just making peace with the dark, and like, how far do you want to go? This was explained to me at some point. There's shadow aspects. If you want to read a great book, and it's only 100 pages long, it's by a guy named Robert Johnson. He wrote a book named He wrote a book named She, he wrote a book named We, and then he wrote a book about the darker aspects and collective shadow, personal shadow, and how to make peace with the shadow. And I would highly, highly recommend it. I'm actually discussing the book with my psychiatrist right now. And, trying to, here's what I think is one thing that is so important. Wait a minute. I think we just lost our Facebook. audience. Here's the one thing that I think is so important is that, people that are younger souls, I hate that term or whatever, but newbies, they try to kill their ego and get rid of their ego, and then it makes it worse, and the ego comes back and like punishes them to no end. Is that your experience? I mean,
well, that's it. You can't ever separate yourself from your ego. That's impossible. I mean, you have to check yourself. Yeah, like that's crazy when people the ego's bad. No, the ego is part of your soul. It's part of who we are. So, and suppressing things is actually what makes it worse.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, I'm going to try and get the Facebook audience back. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it.
That's okay.
We'll just keep the Instagram and the 9 million in New York City right now.
Yeah. I mean, I can try and find this recorded and then repost it again somewhere else. So it might not have many viewers now, but I can definitely put it back out. I'm going to be doing my own YouTube channel where we actually really get into the explanations. I want to really walk people through a lot of the thought process that went into a lot of the characters and the animals and stuff. So people can kind of get a more they can kind of get a how-to guide as well, which I'm going to be doing at the end of the month. I'm just waiting for a camera at the moment so I can start recording in a better quality. Yeah.
All right, you have plans to. I see this lady that wanted to watch this broadcast tuned in. Hi, Emily. I'm really glad you showed up. You have plans to go into the cards, each specific card, in a YouTube video at some point. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to do the Goliath Tarot Deck will be getting its own YouTube channel, and it will be a 1-hour video per card for the majors. And we're going to really get into looking at the card from a lot of different angles, looking at the history of the tarot, and then we're going to get into financial health, just spiritual in general, and then we're going to get into the animal element of it, and the shadow element, of course, and that's the plan. Yeah.
Okay, now tell me about your history of animal medicine, specifically in shamanism, because the book, listen, you can fool some of the people some of the time, or all of the people all the time. You know the saying. But, when a real animal medicine person like myself reads the book and sees the images, there's no faking it. You know what I mean? You know your stuff. You know it in and out. And so, you can't fake out another shaman that's educated in animal medicine. And I mean, the book is it's incredible. It is really, I couldn't speak highly enough of it. And, even to just have something to look forward to in your life and just be I'm going to study this. This is a life study. It's a 5 to 10 year study. It's a divine gift that you channeled in birth. But I want to hear about your extensive animal medicine, because you don't see a deck like this. You don't see. I have studied and collected decks for.
Out in nature and with animals. I mean, I live in the city at the moment, but I mean, as I get older, I'm going to be heading back to forest and really start to all I want to do is just be in nature, have a simple life, have my animals, live in the forest, do my artwork and do my readings and live a really kind of simple existence. But yeah, as far as animals go, I mean, look at this. So I'm looking at the world card. I mean, the idea of the world card was there's a whole other world out in the ocean. There's a school of fish swimming in a circle, and it's kind of the whole cycle of life. We're animals too, and the pecking order and the breakdown of things, I guess. But I mean, other than that, I'm Australian, but I really connect more to American animals. Yeah, it's I like bears, and I like wolves and cobras and but my natural state is owl or eagle. I mean, that's just me. I like to get perspective on things. I like to soar high and get, like, you know, different viewpoints of things before I make my decisions. But I have a hunter in me. I'm a Scorpio myself. So yeah, I don't play around. Like, what I say, I mean. What I want, I go for it. And, you know, the methodicalness of that is very apparent in what I've tried to do. Like, this one here is the hawk energy, which is...
Now, wait a minute. So are you saying what, one of your favored power animals is the hawk? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I love the hawk and I love eagle. Yeah.
The hawk and the eagle. Uh-huh.
Yeah. They're probably one of my favorites. Animal-wise, I tend to, like, different stages of my life, I'll connect with different types of animals. You know, I've certainly been in the cobra family for a while, you know. I think, you know, like, I'm happy just being left alone, and when people start poking me, you know, that energy comes out. But other than that, like, my natural state is like a bear. Like, I just want to play and have fun. But, you know, we all evoke different elements of animal energy for different situations in our life. Yeah.
Now, do you have tattoos? Okay, so do you have, like, what are your tattoos?
Yeah, I've actually got...
Did you design your tattoos? I mean, being a visual artist, did you...
I do. I design all my tattoos. Actually, I might be able to show you one. Hang on. I'm not sure if you can see. It's very dark. It's an owl with a deer head. And you've got the third eye there with a hand. It's very poor lighting in this room, sorry. But I have, like, a few. I've got a magician, you know, the alchemical magician symbol on my arm. And just a few others. Like, I've got a phoenix on my back. So, I've got a few.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any plans to come to the States and, like, do a tour or anything like that?
I would love to do that. I've had a lot of interest from the deck in France. Most of my orders are now coming from France, and I'm actually I've got an announcement. The deck will be available through Amazon USA by the end of this month.
Okay, so you're going to be on Amazon by the end of January.
So people in the US and Canada can get free shipping, and there will be a bit of a price difference and a price drop from Australia because the postal charges in Australia are really high. So that will be happening, like, for a lot of beautiful mystics out there that, you know, just can't get my deck or they can't afford it right now. They will be able to get it from Amazon at the start of the first week of February. We're looking at having stock in the Amazon. So, yay!
Okay. Well, that's genius. That's brilliant. I mean, I love it. I love the fact that it's going to be on Amazon. And do you want to say how much it retails for, or I don't know because you sent it to me.
Yeah, so at the moment it's just because it is self-published. I had to kind of really dig deep in my life and try and find the money to fund this. Not to mention I had to, all of these drawings are all A3 drawings that took 4 years to draw. So the deck is more on the expensive side, but as it starts to, you know, filter out into the world, the price will begin to drop.
Well, you know what? It's first of all, we have 3 minutes left. I just need to tell you this right now, so
Okay.
we're going to have to start wrapping it up. But I just want to tell people, first of all, this is not a cheap-ass, chintzy published deck. I have dealt with and was so excited for certain decks, and I got the decks, and, you know, they were flimsy boxes, and they were flimsy cards, and the shit fell apart. But first of all, when you get this and you open it up, this is quality collector life stuff. This is not something that's going to fray. You know, the book is very high quality, and, you know, the card stock and the card choice and the card size are also very, very, very important to a seasoned reader. Now, if you haven't seen the back and you work with a deck for a couple of hours, You know, you got to look at this. This is important. So this is a nice image. But I also have to say, you know, that the card stock is very, very strong. You know what I mean? It's going to hold up. So whatever the price is, first of all, aside from the fact that it is a living work of art, you know, it is a walking, waking work, you know, a live piece of art, it's worth it. It's worth $150. It's worth $200. And, you know, we don't know how long it's going to be published. Do you have any idea? Are you going to do one publishing, first edition? Are you, you know, do you have any?
Yeah. We're going to, there will be a second edition with some changes made, I can say that. And also, because the guidebook is 80,000 words, like it is a bit, like I had to cram a lot of dialogue into the box. So we're going to be looking at making a bigger version of the guidebook, so it's a bit easier for people to read. And there will be some changes that will be happening with the sizing and stuff like that. But we're still going to keep it to the gold edge gilding and the 300 GSM stock. So yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had a deck from a very well-known tarot author, a male artist. Gosh, I can't recall his name right now. Italian guy. And it was just the cheapest, flimsiest cardstock, and it got wet. You know, I like to drink iced coffee and stuff, and one of the edges got wet, and it frayed, and I had to throw the whole deck away, and I will never buy shit from Lee Wellen ever again. Ever, because of it. That was like, you know, just the drama, trying to get the deck. Anyways, listen, we're going off the air in New York City in 1 minute. So how do you want to wrap this up here?
Cool. Hi, Emily. I can see Emily's watching.
How do you, Goliath, what are your final words here? Because we're going to have to end the channeling transmission for now. I'm so glad you showed up.
Thank you. I'm here. Final words. You know, whatever you're doing, just keep going. You know, like, you know, putting a lot of time and energy into your passion. Follow your passion. Follow what you connect with. And if something doesn't feel right, then it probably isn't right. And you know that. That's what we've got intuition for. So, you know, if you pick up a deck and you don't really connect with it, that's cool. Move along. There's tons of different decks out on the market that you can get. And, you know, my deck is not for everybody, but this is, I made this myself with these hands. And if you want to support myself as an artist, it is hard to support us and have people, you know, like our work. But yeah, when you pick up artwork, you are picking up the interpretation of the artist, and we've got to respect that. So I would say respect each other and be kind and have fun on your tarot journey.
All right. It's good to finally hear your voice. We need to go for now. Your laugh is actually truly enchanting. I got to tell you.
You are too.
Okay, Goliath. I'm giving you big shaman hugs and shaman blessings, and I'd like to thank all the people on Facebook and my New York City audience and beyond. And thank you so much for birthing this creation and letting it out into the world. And we will talk soon. Shakti Namaste. Shakti. Thank you so much. Okay, I think end. I don't know. Yeah, end the live video. Okay. Share your video for the next 24 hours so more people can watch it. Okay. And that's it for the New York audience. I hope somebody got something out of Facebook. And we went live on Instagram with the creator. And hopefully there was no sound check problem. And I'll be able to put this on YouTube. Shakti Namaste. I will see you next week in the Cyber Temple of Love. And remember, and don't forget, we've got a full moon, super blood wolf moon eclipse next Monday. Shakti, get ready. Ready or not, here we come. Thanks for watching, guys. Shakti.